Alright, so to clarify a couple of things, the reason I'm gonna be maybe a little more restrained in this review, and maybe a little more quiet, is because it's 2 a.m. here, and I really don't want to wake my folks up. They've had a long day at work, and you know how life is these days. So, yeah, I'm gonna be a little more quiet this time around, but I'm still gonna try and get in a few yells and screams of anger, because there definitely were a couple of things about the Legend of Korra Book 2 premiere that just really fucking pissed me the hell off and just made me want to punch one particular character in the face, and it's not who you think it is. Alright, so this is literally minutes after seeing, the premiere of Legend of Korra. I watched the Korra Spirit live stream because I don't live in America, so I just couldn't watch it ordinarily. And I will say that in general, the premiere was okay. Nothing really great happened. It was just kind of mediocre, to be perfectly honest with you guys. Like, there were a couple of okay things here and there. The characters I liked before, I still like now. Tenzin, his children. The older characters I surprisingly liked. I kind of liked Unalaq. I liked Tonrak. I really liked those older characters, and I feel like the writing was better for those guys, and I could really kind of relate to where these guys were coming from. And I just kind of felt that one set of characters was done kind of well, and some characters that weren't done as well in the first season were done surprisingly better this time around. Bolin is actually kind of a cool character now, because his humor is actually better, because Bolin is kind of the Sokka of this new series, and I thought that his comedic relief was actually really good. I thought his interaction with Desna and Eska was really, really funny. Like, they're these two monotone twins. One's a guy, one's a girl. And they have this psychic link. They're really monotone, and they're really fucking creepy. And they pretty much made Bolin their slave. And it's pretty damn entertaining, I have to say. And I just thought Bolin was just way funnier this season. I just thought he had a lot of great situational gags. I thought he had a lot of great interactions with Varric, with Desna and Eska, and a little bit with Asami and stuff. One character who I really like this time around, because this is going to sound weird, because I really kind of liked Mako here. And I really fucking hated Korra this time, which is really weird. Now, I wasn't really a big fan of Korra in the original season. She had a lot of problems, she had a lot of problems as a character and a lot of personality traits I just couldn't get over, because she just did the same stupid fucking mistake every episode. She pretended like she learned her lesson, and then she made the exact same fucking mistake next episode, and that was the entire first season. Korra had no fucking character arc whatsoever, and that kind of continues here. But back to Mako. Now, Mako was actually really cool as a boyfriend, because he and Korra have a couple of places where they're like talking about the whole situation where the Southern Water Tribe is unbalanced. Unalaq, who's the leader of the North, he wants to, basically help the South reach spiritual balance so that they can, stop pissing off the spirits. Because one of the very first things you see in the premiere is a ship being attacked by spirits and being dragged into the ocean, and you basically see a lot of people die, which I thought was a pretty ballsy opening, and I thought it was a cool way to open a premiere, which I thought was going to be better, but it ended up kind of being mediocre. Anyway, so they have a couple of conversations here and there where they're talking about the situation at hand, and Korra is having this whole dilemma. She doesn't know who to trust. Who should she go with? Should she go with Unalaq, who has this spirit bending power where he can calm these pissed off spirits off, or should she stay with Tenzin? And Mako pretty much does what I think a good boyfriend should do. He basically tells her, look, I don't get this stuff because I'm not the Avatar, but as your boyfriend, I'm going to support you in whatever choice you possibly make. I am not going to dictate you and tell you what you have to do or stuff. I'm basically going to support you in whatever you do, whether or not I agree with it or not. And I thought that was really, really damn cool. It was a really damn awesome, couple of scenes with Mako, and it made me instantly like him a whole lot more. And it basically fit in, because Korra's whole thing with Tenzin is she doesn't want to be bossed around with Tenzin. She wants to do things her way again, even though we have established so many fucking times in the last season her method doesn't work. But again, she does the same fucking stupid mistakes as she did last season, and she wants to do things her way. She doesn't want to be bossed around by anybody. And Mako tells her, I'm not going to boss you around. I'm going to support you any way you want. And Korra's response to this, instead of her being grateful to her boyfriend for supporting her no matter what she does and not trying to boss her around, she scolds him for not bossing her around after she bitches and complains for 5 fucking minutes about how Tenzin apparently bosses her around. And then we get to one of the worst things about this premiere, Korra herself. Korra was an okay character in the first season. I mean, she had a couple of cool personality traits, but she just did the same fucking mistake every episode, and she never learned anything. It was like an episode of Full House with her. Every single motherfucking episode, it was always her following her gut, not thinking things through, nearly getting killed, getting herself killed, or someone else getting killed, and just being a selfish, stupid bitch. And at the end of the episode, she would say, oh, I'm not going to be a selfish, stupid bitch. And then in the next episode, she would make the exact same fucking character arc. Korra had no character arc, and here it's even worse. Because she again doesn't think things through. And she does something really horrible to Tenzin at the end of episode 1, where my jaw hit the floor. I could not believe the things she said to Tenzin, the guy who supported her. Sure, they had a rocky start, but this is the guy who has been guiding her this whole time. She was perfectly fine with, maybe following it his way, like she did in episode 2 of season 1, where she pretty much said, look, I acted like this stupid teenager. I didn't think things through. I'm gonna try and be more patient with you. And then she does the same fucking mistake again. And then she pretty much tells Tenzin to piss off. I don't need you anymore. I'm going to follow my uncle because he can calm the spirits instantly. Fuck you for everything you've done for me in these past few months. I don't need you anymore. Go fuck yourself. That is essentially what she tells him at the end of the first episode. And my fucking jaw hit the floor. I could not believe that she could be such an unbelievable bitch to the guy who has been supporting her this entire time. Sure, they've had a rocky relationship, but he's been supporting her. He's been there for her all this time. He's been her spiritual guide and stuff. And the second he tells her, Korra, you're getting back into your bad habits again. You're not thinking things through, which you fucking should since you're the goddamn Avatar and you need to stop being a selfish, stupid bitch. She pretty much tells him to go fuck off. He leaves, and that's the end of that. And I just couldn't believe it. I just could not believe what kind of a bitch she was. And then she even acts as a bitch towards her father, Tanrak. And I'm not going to spoil why she's pissed off at her father. But again, she does something near the end of the second episode to her father that just made my jaw hit the fucking floor. I just wanted to just take a baseball bat and beat the living shit out of her, or even beat some sense into her at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if you can beat the shit out of someone and then beat some sense into them at the same time, but that's pretty much what I wanted to do with Korra. And she was such an unlikable fucking asshole to everybody. Everybody who actually gave two shits about her, who supported her in any fucking capacity, she was a colossal bitch to this entire premiere. And I just wanted her... I cannot even express my rage in words. She just acted like such an unlikable fucking spoiled brat bitch. The kind that you want to see die. These are the kind of girls I just despise. The girls that just shit on anybody who supports them in any way, shape, or form, who actually want what's best for them because they want to do things their way, and wah, you're bossing me around even though I'm being a stupid fucking bitch, wah. That is essentially Korra's character in the premiere, and I just wanted to fucking beat the shit out of her and beat some sense into her at the same time. I don't know if it's possible, but that's what I wanted to do. And I just could not stand her. Every time she opened her mouth, it was just her bitching and complaining. It was either her bitching about how Tenzin is bossing her around, how Mako's not bossing her around, how her father actually is, I don't know, giving her good advice and trying to help her learn the important life lesson of you cannot simply follow your gut. You have to fucking think things through. And Korra refuses to learn this. Korra does not learn an important lesson she needs to as the fucking Avatar. She needs to learn that you cannot just go through life with instinct or following your gut. You have to think things through, and you have to start thinking about other people besides yourself, you stupid, close-minded fucking bitch. There, I said it. And that's the worst part of the premiere. The second part that really didn't work for me was the new animation studio. The animation just doesn't look as good as it did in book one. It just doesn't. I mean, some of the backgrounds still look fairly impressive, but the character designs have just gone down the crapper. I mean, the characters look wildly inconsistent, like from scene to scene. They look almost hideously disproportionate at points. They just don't look good anymore, and they don't look good, like, they don't look consistent with how they looked in the first book. The animation really didn't impress me. The fight scenes really weren't that great. They were mediocre at best. I mean, some of the backgrounds look pretty damn beautiful, but besides that, the character designs really didn't work as well. They look really disproportionate. They even put these really out of place anime style like faces on people. Like Korra has a really noticeable anime like face when she's like eating cotton candy, and her face like turns into like one of those weird anime cat faces. It just didn't work. The character designs just look wildly inconsistent. All of the detail from a lot of the detail from the backgrounds and almost all of the detail from the character designs themselves has just been kind of sucked away, and the animation was really subpar. I mean, this premiere didn't look as good as The Last Airbender, you know, the original show. This looked like shit in comparison to Korra Book 1, and it's even worse than the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender, in my opinion. That's gonna maybe piss some people off, but I don't care. The animation just really underwhelmed me, and it looked downright ugly at some points. And there were some characters that I wish we could have gotten to know a bit more. Like, I kind of like Kia for the little time we got to see her. I thought her interaction and Bumi's interaction with the people at the Southern Air Temple, I thought that was pretty funny. How they were all like, "Oh great, we have more Airbender children, you know, from Avatar Aang," and then they say, "We're not Airbenders," and then they just like, yeah, fuck off, where's Tenzin? And I thought that was pretty funny. Bumi, I really knew. No. Bumi was kind of annoying. This was kind of my big fear with him, that he was gonna be really fucking annoying, and he's not really fucking annoying, but he doesn't click with me. He just feels like, I don't know, he just kind of feels unnecessary, and he retired from the United Forces just so he can fuck around with his baby brother's family all day long. Really? That's the reason you quit, you know, possibly one of the greatest positions you could possibly get in, you know, the world, just to fuck around? Okay. Whatever floats your boat, buddy. And Asami pretty much got shafted. You know, Asami has maybe 2 scenes in the entire premiere, and then she just disappears completely. And I'm sure she's going to play a bigger role later on, but she just completely, you know, kind of vanishes. You know, she has literally 2 scenes gone. Just gone. Then she just disappears and she doesn't show up ever again. And there were some things that I wish could have been better expanded upon. Like, this thing had kind of an exposition fest kind of feeling. It had I would even go as far as to say this had the horrible thing the last Airbender movie had, where the characters just had these lines of exposition, or these scenes of exposition that really didn't flow right with the rest of the storyline, and it just felt like it was there for the sake of exposition and nothing else. Like, there's this one point where they mention, like, and they show that the United Council has pretty much been disbanded, and one guy, one president of the United Republic is leading the whole United Republic now. I fail to see how this is a good thing, and it's really not expanded upon. Like, I know that they're going to be traveling all over the place, from all the air temples to Ba Sing Se. They pretty much confirmed this, before the release, so I'm not really spoiling anything for you guys, but it just kind of feels unnecessary. Like, I kind of feel like they could have left that whole president thing out, and it wouldn't have made a difference, at all, and it just kind of felt forced. And there were a couple of other places where there was just lines of exposition. Characters just said stuff for the sake of exposition, but they didn't feel right. They just really felt obviously like lines that were just there so that they can explain more shit to us. And seeing as how the last Airbender movie was just exposition, and actually no real character at all or emotion, that thing cropping into Legend of Korra does not bode well. And overall, I thought it was kind of Like, from a scale of F- to like A+, I would probably give this like a C, C-. I really didn't find it that impressive, to be honest with you guys. I thought it was alright. It had a pretty strong beginning. It had a couple of things I liked here and there. Some characters that really didn't click with me last season kind of click with me here. I kind of like some of the new characters they introduced. Like, I am especially impressed that they actually made me like Mako, but then they just completely destroy that by making me absolutely fucking despise Korra after watching this. And really, it was just like a C or C- at best. Like, I really can't give it anything higher. It's alright. It's certainly not as good as the book 1 premiere, even though the first book really went downhill after that. I hope this is kind of the opposite, where it kind of begins kind of mediocre, and then it goes, into awesome territory. But if this starts like and then goes into book 1 bullshit mode as the book goes on, oh God, have mercy on my poor soul for having to watch maybe an inevitable disaster. But I hope to God this is one of those times where it starts off kind of bad and then it gets better as it goes along, because if this is another book 1 style situation, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself in the face and just give up all hope on humanity and this franchise of ever redeeming itself. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the premiere. C-. If you've missed it, you really haven't missed anything really earth-shattering. And but if you're a fanboy or a fangirl of the show, you've already watched it. If you're someone kind of on the fence, I would say maybe wait a few episodes and then maybe listen to what people have to say. And if you hear good things from me or from some of your other friends, then maybe you should start to check it out. But at this point, I really should just tell you, wait, give it a few more weeks for some of the episodes to come out. And then if you hear good things, check it out. If you hear bad things, logically don't, because if you check out a show that is bad, then you probably have some mental problems, or you're a masochist, kind of like how I am at points. So yeah.